I'm still confused what took Adidas so long to disclose the literal, well, what feels to me, the only viable way in which to move the product post Yeezy contract. I have no idea, like, what took so long? The news heard around the world today, which it's a Thursday when I'm putting this out, and it will be short because we don't know a whole lot. But what we know, at least from what Adidas announced, their CEO in a shareholder call, that they want to sell parts of the Yeezy inventory and donate to organizations. Because of course, burning the product was not a solution, but we all knew that. You would face wild environmental backlash if they chose to do that. And then there's no timetable or process by which Adidas plans to release this. And then from what we can understand, Kanye would receive 15%, which I imagine is based on outstanding contracts he had in place. So there are very objective and subjective ways to look at certain parts of this entire situation. The objective part, whether you like Kanye or not, if there are standing contractual obligations by Adidas, if they choose to move forward in selling the product that was already in existence, that's what he's due. If that's the 15%, that is the 15%. Now, I've seen some people say, which I don't understand because you don't personally know Kanye. I've seen people like comment on certain publication posts on Instagram that, oh my God, like I hate him and different things like that. Okay, well, listen, you cannot agree with somebody and their actions and their behaviors. I didn't care for a lot of things that happened over 2021 and 2022. However, hate's a really strong word to say that you don't know him. I can understand not agreeing with what he did or things he said, but the hate is just rather strong. And to say I've seen some people say that he's not owed that. Well, he's owed whatever Adidas signed a contract on. Now, for people to say he should get more, that's not how business works. So if it was only 15%, it's 15%. Some people also seem to forget the logic that they are the ones, Adidas, moving, actually manufacturing the product, housing the product, dealing with point of sale, distribution, all of that will still fall on them. It will not fall on Kanye. And I would think, again, this just is my individual opinion, I would think if he had the ability to go and distribute at a much faster level, greater level right now than anything he's doing, I know he had the short fashion show that occurred recently, then maybe he would have already done that. Side note, those socks, I'm good on those. Listen, the leggings and the socks, you guys can have those. I promise. You can have those. I'm good on that. But I've also not been like the biggest fan of a lot of fashion things as we've moved pretty much till now when it comes to Kanye. Old Kanye, sure. When he was in Jordan and Nike, you guys already know, like that was the thing. Loved it. Even his early like 350 V2 days. Awesome. As we've come to 2023, no thank you. I am good on that. Now the subjective part, is it smart? Is it right? Is it just for them to still sell Yeezys, or what we know is Yeezys, following the fallout and their decision to separate from him? That's a decision that you yourself will have to make. I am not somebody that will say, what do we think? We don't share a brain. You have your own independent thought. I'm just simply confused why it took so long for them to come out and say this was the viable solution if they wanted to move the product. Because in my mind, and I said this in a video, but I didn't expound on it, and someone posed in the comment section, well, what solution would you have for them to move, or what to do with the actual product? You're under a lot of scrutiny, okay? And they are still going to face a lot of backlash, a lot of criticism. But in my opinion, and for me, Adidas, the only real viable way for you to move the product would be to sell it and only withhold whatever it costs to actually manufacture and distribute the shoes themselves, and the rest of it go towards actual like charities and community projects that are empowering various communities. And I wouldn't say just Jewish communities, but any that are underserved and less fortunate, because I think that, at least to me, would be a very sensible way to approach it. And you would need to also scrutinize where every dollar is going for these organizations, these charities, these nonprofits. I mean, track these dollars like you've never tracked these dollars before, so that you can show the people this really isn't about the profit going back into the business. It would be the profit going into communities. But people will still have something to say about that, and they'll still dislike that, because I think it's also fair to criticize, well, why are you now okay moving the product following disassociation with him, but you didn't want to move it then? That is a really fair point, and I'm not upset for anyone for having that question and posing that to Adidas, because you can say, well, what's different now? Well, people are right. They need to go ahead and move that inventory and do something with it. Now, if they're moving the inventory, not actually keeping a profit past cost of goods sold, then is that them really benefiting from it? Well, the goodwill, they would benefit from it that way in terms of PR and as a brand, and their stock has actually done decently well even past the separation in October. So them hurting, I feel like, is long term. I know the headlines have been out there. Maybe long term, like down the road, they would feel the impact of that inventory sitting, but right now their stock is telling a different story than what all of the headlines have shown. But this is the decision they've come out with and they've announced. Now, we don't know when those Yeezys would come out. Would they have the branding, not have the branding? What would be the models that would come out? What would be the colorways? Because granted, was the very first one that we thought would come out. And somebody commented on another video that I facetiously said, hey, just remove the insole in the box and you have, you know, non-branded Yeezy sneakers to sell. And someone said, oh my goodness, is this real? That was just a facetious video. I'm not sure how they'll actually choose to distribute those pairs, the insoles or the boxes. We know everyone will tune in because they'll either have a lot of criticism towards Adidas, they'll have a lot of support and just want the shoes, which that part is really weird as well, because for so many that said they would never buy anything else if it wasn't associated with Kanye or if Kanye wasn't getting a kickback, but now he is going to get a percentage of that. So do you stick by what you said and do you buy the shoe or not buy the shoe? I don't know. Here's the thing. That's not a question I'm posing to you because it doesn't matter to me if you buy the shoes or don't buy the shoes. I'm not affected by it. It's the very same reason I've never posed the question to someone, will you continue to wear the shoes? Are you destroying your shoes? Are you selling your shoes? I know people that have sold every Yeezy in their collection. I know people that have just simply paused on wearing them. I know people that still wear them every single day. I know people that only kept the grail pairs of Yeezys and they got rid of a whole lot of the other ones. I know some who are waiting to buy Yeezys that don't actually have any association with Kanye to them. And you know what I say to that? Do what works for you. At the end of the day, it's your dollar, they're your feet, it's your decision as a consumer. Whether it's based on business, morals, whatever, doesn't matter. But we at least now know what Adidas intends to do. I guess now we wait and see what the timeline is for that. Just my thoughts, again, why it took so long for them to come out with the only real viable solution if you want to sell the shoes. I don't know. You are free, and I appreciate whenever you choose to share your opinions below. Again, they're subjective, so I don't need to agree with them. You don't have to agree with mine, and we will both happily exist in this world, even in sneakers. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace.